Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is it. This is the big one. Manchester United versus Real Madrid in San Diego. No.
In Houston.
We're in San Diego. No. Whoa, shut up. We're not starting again. Ignore him. We don't start again with Genius. Right, listen, I've got to explain something to you, though. We're in San Diego. Yeah. We're recording this before the game against Real Madrid, and before the game, obviously, before the game against Wrexham, because me and Joe have got to get a flight to Houston. Yeah. Time is going to be the essence, and we thought, do you know what? We're just going to have to take the risk of recording this before the Wrexham game. We think it's going to be a weaker side against Wrexham and a stronger side against Real Madrid. We might be wrong. You might have seen the first team batter Wrexham, and we might be ready for the Rezzies against Real Madrid, but we are going to take that chance. Joe.
Hello.
So far, so good on the pre-season tour, but it could get better because we could be about to see the debut of Andre Onana.
Surely we are. He was there at the game the other day. He's been training for nearly a week now. I don't see any reason to not play him. It's, goalkeeper's the position that, requires the least sort of fitness, the least, cardiovascular, getting up to speedery of any of the positions. So I don't see a reason why he shouldn't be playing in that game if he's going to be the first choice keeper. And I'm just really excited. I think we've seen Tom Heaton do a bit more coming out of his box and claiming things. I don't know if that's just because that's naturally his game and it's slightly different to David De Gea, or whether that's just because he's been instructed to be a bit more like maybe Onana or the style of play that we're going to be doing going forward, but we're going to have to lift those up because they're going to get soaking wet. As I was saying, I wonder if Ten Hag's instructed Tom Heaton to play like that. Either way, we're already starting to see a bit more of that, and I think that bringing Mount in as well and having these new players and players that are just more comfortable on the ball throughout the team is just a good thing if you want to play a high possession, high pressing system that Ten Hag does. So I'm really excited to see him.
We've seen a little bit of that with Ten Hag, haven't we? With him using sort of reserve players or fringe players, but getting them to play the way he wants the team to play. Yeah. So it's not like if you come in and you replace an Onana or you replace a Mason Mount or Bruno, you're going to play a different way. He seems to be instilling this new sort of brand or style,
makes sense, doesn't it?
Style that he wants, which is always good to see. We have got players in the team squad, however you want to look at it, that did play at Real Madrid. We've got Rafael Varane, we've got Casemiro, and we know that when you come from a team like Madrid, you have that winning mentality. Those players have got that winning mentality, and you feel that it's not just because of them, but it helps, but it's also seeping through to the teammates. That it does seem like there's a new sort of aura around Manchester United, a bit more determination, a bit more of a sort of an attitude of, we need to start winning things. We need to be competing. We need to be doing as well as we can do. Yeah,
and we saw what happened with Real Madrid when they sold Casemiro. And I don't think that's the only reason that they had a poor season in Europe, a poor season in the league. I think they've got an aging squad. But getting rid of one of your better players who is under 30 is a tricky thing to get right. And they clearly haven't got that right. And, all the better for Man United that we've got him in. And like you said, there's two different reasons. Well, there's a few things that go into it, but two things that are at play here. One is this winning mentality that they just have from winning so much. That's the first thing. But the other thing is they're in the final sort of third or quarter of their career now, Casemiro and Varane in particular. If they don't win something this season, who knows if they, who knows what they've got left? Who knows how much longer they're going to be at the top? So there's that extra element of this has to happen now while we're still at our peak. So I think that's a massive thing as well for United. And playing against Real Madrid is going to be a good way of sort of seeing where we're at. I know obviously we played Arsenal already, that's a good team and we beat them, but I think Real Madrid, it's always a good test playing against teams like that, and especially with players who used to play for them.
Yeah, with all that being said, Dan, we're talking about a strong team. Give us your starting 11. I take it you're going all out here.
Yeah,
this is your predicted team, by the way.
Yeah, and also now half the team played last night, or against Wrexham. There's only so many players he can even pick from, so I think we're going to see hopefully 60 or 70 minutes from this team as well. I'm going to go Onana, I'm going to go Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez and Shaw, and then I want to see this midfield three of Casemiro, Bruno and Mount. I think I'd like to see how that's starting to look. Obviously Mainoo's been excellent and that's not a sort of a dropping of him, but if we're honest, that's probably the midfield that's going to start the season and I'd like to see it. And then I want to see, the front three is still tricky, there's no striker there, but I think you'd probably keep Sancho through the middle, He spoke about that in the press conference, and Martial's still not, fully fit. Rashford on the left, and then Anthony on the right for me. I think just all out, the strongest team we can muster. Let's, not just to win the game, but to see how it looks as a starting 11.
Get involved in the comments in the chat. Let us know if you agree with Joe's team. Don't forget as well, if you've not done already, hit subscribe. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers. And also, you don't want to miss out on any of the great content we're providing during the tour. We'll have the watch-alongs back in the studio, but we're going to have all your podcasts, live updates, previews, reviews, interviews. We've already had Bruno Fernandes and Erik ten Hag on the channel, so make sure you are hitting that like, share and subscribe button. Joe, I'm going to do something a little bit strange. I'm going to stick with your 11.
Yeah.
The only change we're going to make is I'm going to put Marcus through the middle.
Okay.
I'm going to move Sancho over to the left.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I agree with everything you said, and he spoke about trying Sancho in the number 9, and we saw that against Arsenal. I just feel that for me, he's going to look at Marcus Rashford and think, that is a player I am going to have to use down the middle, no matter what. Where with Jadon Sancho, it's an experiment or a luxury that it might work, it might not. So I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
I'm making that slight tweak. So do get involved in the comments in the chat. Real Madrid, you mentioned earlier, they let Casemiro go. Wasn't a vintage year for them last season by any stretch of the imagination. It's one of their poorer seasons, and it would have hurt them seeing Barcelona win the league, and then obviously going out to Manchester City in the manner they did in the Champions League as well. But you can never count Real Madrid out, can you? And they're always a team that have got match winners in there. I'm a big fan of the likes of Camavinga. I'm a big fan of the likes of Vinicius Junior. And if you can get any result against them, even in pre-season, it matters. It gives you a bit of a boost.
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying before, I think that it's just, I like that. I know obviously Wrexham's a different case, but like we said, it's the youth team we're expecting there. I like playing against the top teams, not because it's fun to see the top players, which obviously it is, but it is just more of a test because they don't want to lose. And we saw the Arsenal players, and we saw Arteta after the game saying about they should feel bad for losing. And that's the mentality of all the top teams. So you're going to get a better quality of game. I've seen pre-season games in the past where it looks like a pre-season game, where I didn't think that Arsenal game did. Obviously, it's not the same intensity. It's not going to be a competitive game, exactly. But it wasn't being phoned in. It wasn't being faxed in. There's an element there that you get when it's two top teams playing against each other. And I think we'll see that against Real Madrid. And the test is obviously better. But I just like that there's that extra intensity, that extra energy to the game, and that sets you up for the season better rather than coasting in, playing against a couple of League One sides, and then you're not ready for the start of the season.
With all that being said, give us your score prediction.
I never know. I feel like United are in good winning form though, so I'm going to go for a win. I think I'll go 2-1 Manchester United. What are you saying? 2-1
Manchester United. I think we'll do him. I think we've been looking pretty good pre-season. I fancy us for this one. I think that there's a real element of, like I said earlier, winning mentality. Players wanting to prove themselves as a manager. Players getting used to playing in this system as well. Yeah. New signings like Onana, Mason Mount, who's obviously relatively new as well. I can go 3-0 Manchester United. I know it's Real Madrid, but I still fancy us for it.
Great.
Yeah, get involved in the comments in the chat. Let us know your score predictions as well, because let's face facts, it is still Real Madrid, but you can't help but feel a little bit more confident lately with Manchester United. That's been Joe Smith. Go and check him out on the Sloppy Joe's podcast. You know who I am, Jay Mottis. Don't forget as well to hit like, share and subscribe. We're in San Diego. This has been the preview for the game against Real Madrid in Houston. Thanks for watching.